Sarah Nuñez.
How long have you lived here in Louisville?
I've been here since March of 2015, so a little over 2 years.
Okay, and where do you come from?
I moved here from Asheville, North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and was born in Bogota, Colombia, and lived in North Carolina for over 20 years.
Okay, and what do you do for work?
I work at the University of Louisville in the Cultural Center. I run programs for Latino students.
And how does your cultural background help you in your line of work?
I think it's really interesting because I come from a multicultural background, and so my mother's people, I think throughout my family we've always been immigrants, and so my mother's people come from Germany and Czechoslovakia, and my father's family come from Colombia. And so we ended up in the United States. My father immigrated here in the 60s, and my mother's family came the turn of the century. And so growing up in the South has a big thing to do with how I work with students and how I'm able to understand a lot of where they're coming from, because as first, second, and third generation immigrants, as some students who don't speak Spanish, some that do speak Spanish, there's a lot of complexities inside of those identities. And so coming from the South and having been in the South for most of my life and coming from a multicultural background, I think gives me a different kind of insight into working with these young people.
Okay, and how would you describe the Latino community here in Louisville?
I think it's a large population and a growing population.
And how do you expect to see it in 10 years from now?
Probably, considering the population trends, will continue to grow and be larger, and hopefully more folks can be more integrated into regular, into leadership positions, into government, right, into parts of, I think we're a large population, but also a very hidden population.
And what do you like the most about Louisville?
I'd say the parks are really nice here on a personal level. I think that there's a lot of nice parks and really good food. Yeah.
Okay. And what does it mean for you to be a Latina living in the U.S.?
I'd say pride, and also it's sometimes a lot of confusion, because it's not like there's a really defined way of how we describe ourselves and who we are. And there's also a lot of history that's missing from our culture and from our schools and from our education systems about who we are and where we've come from. So I think it's really confusing. And I think, but at the same time, there's a lot of pride there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Gracias.
Mm-hmm.